Hi guys, it's Candace at Beacon Hill Books. Another weekly update here. I had a great reading week. First of all, I finished I shouldn't say I buddy read it with Dee at Books and Quirks. We finished the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. This book was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I understand the hype. I'm not going to get into a review of it. I tried to explain it a little bit last time, and I can link Dee's review and also another really good review of the book by Eves Alexandra under this in the description bar. But I ended up giving this 4 stars, and we are definitely continuing with the series. The next book we finished, Liz and I finished, was Team of Rivals, The Political Genius of Abraham Lincoln by Doris Kearns Goodwin. And The Political Genius is a great, great subtitle. This book, I'm still thinking about it. I finished last night and I was thinking of all the things I want to say. I can't succinctly say them all. I know this book can be intimidating, but it's so worth the read, I feel. If you like history, if you like inspiring people, if you want to learn a little bit more than your history class in high school or whatever went into, I definitely would pick up this book. There were so many passages I underlined, and I feel like my heart is broken. I know the ending of how things are going to be. It's so sad for me that we've lost one of the most important and I think caring person in history. At least he got to see the Civil War ended and his dreams come true. But he sacrificed so much. His family sacrificed so much. It's kind of sad about the Lincolns in general. At the end, they talk about the remaining members, and even the remaining members, it didn't end the best for. I didn't know, I knew about Lincoln's assassination, but I didn't know that much about the other players besides Booth. The Sewards. Now Seward is like a political figure to me that I knew nothing about, and now I hold in such high esteem. And his life and his sons were also in jeopardy of that night of the assassination. There's no secret, Liz and I love Abe, but I just don't see how you can't. And every person that ran into him that didn't like him or had problems with him and met him and worked with him and got to know him, everybody changed their mind. Even Chase, who was his biggest political rival, who he had in his cabinet, ends up getting rid of and then hires back as a Supreme Justice. This guy can put aside anything personal. And as a human, that's very hard to do a lot of times. It's so hard to do what he did. And in the end, I really liked this story, this little blip about Tolstoy. And he had been traveling to a continent, a place that they weren't familiar with, America. And so they were trying to ask him for stories of the world. And he said, he went through Napoleon, he went through Caesar, he went through Alexander. And they said, but wait a second. The chief said, but you have not told us a syllable about the greatest general and greatest ruler of the world. We want to know something about him. He was a hero. He spoke with a voice of thunder. He laughed like the sunrise, and his deeds were strong as the rock. His name was Lincoln, and the country in which he lived is called America, which is so far away that if you should journey to reach it, he would be an old man when he arrived. Tell us of that man. So realized, even in this remote place, they had heard the legend and myth of Abraham Lincoln, so well-deserved myth and legend of Abraham Lincoln. I just feel like he transcends, and as Stanton, his Secretary of War, said, he belongs to the ages. He definitely does. My heart, it's going to take a long time to heal, and this book has inspired me to want to even read more about him and other political figures. It was just, Goodwin did just a great job. It can be dense, and it's a lot of nonfiction, especially about when the Civil War is going on. And without getting too much into the strategy of it, although she did speak about troop movement and morale of the troops and things like that, she also got into how the cabinet members were feeling and the drama that was going on with the personal relationships and how Lincoln was feeling. And I just loved how Lincoln was so buoyed by the troops. He would go often and in times of peril and risk his own life to go and just be with the soldiers, the injured ones and the ones up, that were fighting. And they both got energy from each other and inspired each other. And I'm kind of speechless at this time about this book. But if you were at all thinking that this book might interest you, I highly recommend that you pick it up. So Liz and I did a chapter a night. It was very, very good to do as a buddy read if you can, because I think it kept me on schedule, kept the pace, and allowed me to digest a lot of it. If you could find someone, I think it enhances the reading. There's so many political figures in here. Liz was so good about picking up all the details. I really loved the bits about Frederick Douglass as well. So after this book, it's really going to be hard to follow it up. I've been reading The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and I'm about half-ish way through. I haven't met many people that didn't like The Shadow of the Wind, but since looking on YouTube there, I have run across a few, Olivia Pope being one. This book is so very similar to that book, so she didn't like this book. I am in love with this book. It is so good. I really want to read it, but I have some library holds and some arcs that I need to finish. But the writing style is enjoyable, witty, and quick. The chapters are quick. I will get into this more probably in a further video, but I'm really enjoying this book. A couple other ebooks I've been reading. Manhattan Beach, still by Jennifer Egan. That's picking up. I'm having a hard time getting into it. It's a great premise, but it's following Dexter Stiles, who is like a mafia boss in the Manhattan Beach area, so New York City, during the World War II, and a young woman who loses her father and wants to help with the war and kind of be an independent female. I like her storyline so much better, but it intersects, and I don't know. The writing is good. I haven't eased myself into it. I'm a quarter in. I think it's starting to pick up right now. I started The Murder of Mary Russell by Laurie R. King. It's the final full book of the Mary Russell series, and I'm delighted to see it is about Mrs. Hudson. It starts off right away where it grabs you. I love those types of books, but I will say that it's going into detail and history of her mother and her father, and I'm just like, I need to know about what happened in the first chapter. Like, come on, let's go. I'm also reading 1000 Women by Jim Fergus. This was the first book in this series for an arc that I got that I wanted to finish, and I'm enjoying it. It's about a woman named May Dodd, and kind of based off of her diaries. This is a historical fiction where she, quote, volunteers to be a part of the Brides for Indians program, BFI, that Ulysses Grant agreed to secretly to help relations with one of the Indian groups. And I'm at the part where she's just reaching the reservation. So she hasn't met any of her husband or anything yet. I'm liking it. I'm not saying it's anything like the writing sometimes seems a little basic-ish, but I'm enjoying it. I think that's pretty much it.